Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Today we are talking 2K, that's right, 2-component paints, and we've got something here today that may be a game changer. If you're in the middle of typing component is spelled with a C, don't do it. Just stop. All right, so if you've been watching my channel for a while, if you've seen my video on how to get a professional coat of clear with spray cans, if you've seen my video on how to do an awesome duplicolor paint job that has 2K over it, you know what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about catalyzed polyurethanes 2K paints, and the classic one in a spray can is the Spray Max. We're all familiar with it. So let me ask you this. What is the main drawback to 2K paint in a spray can, aside from the fact that it will kill you? And actually, while we're on that topic, quick digression for Mr. Safety Man here. Yeah, 2K paint, extremely bad for you, high in isocyanate, probably one of the worst spray paints health-wise, if not the worst. And I think I've heard many times, although I haven't independently verified this, isocyanates can't be filtered out properly. So really, when you're spraying 2K paints, catalyzed polyurethanes, you should be wearing an air-fed mask. I'm gonna assume most of you don't have one. That's the advice, wear an air-fed mask. Do I do that? No, I don't have one either. But what I do have is a pull paint booth that sucks the fumes away from me and a full-face respirator. And I try to avoid spending any time near the piece that I'm spraying unless I'm actually in the process of spraying it. So be very, very careful if you're using this stuff. Don't go dying on me, okay? If a whole bunch of my viewers get really, really sick from inhaling this poison, then my viewership's gonna go down, and I just can't have that. All right, after that bright and cheerful subject, where were we? Yeah, so the worst thing, the biggest drawback to a can-based 2K polyurethane spray can is simply that it's catalyzed. And that's what makes it work. That's what makes it great. But you have to take this thing and break the can within the can, shake the hell out of it. All of that is fine, but that starts a chemical reaction. And the chemical reaction there is, of course, sped up by the presence of air. It goes faster if it's not laid on too thick, all of that fun stuff. And heat, of course, can speed it up as well. But it happens regardless. So when you catalyze a can like this, the classic Spray Max, I think Custom Paints out of the UK has them as well. Eastwood in the States has them as well. If you're gonna do that, it's gonna eventually react even within the can. And there's some mixed information about how long that takes. It generally depends on the temperature. But yeah, your paint can will become useless within a fairly short period of time. So you can't put it back on the shelf for a couple weeks, pick it up again, and work on your next project. Or can you? With these cans, it's a straight up no. But we may have a different option now. So this company, Car Rep, reached out to me recently with something that very much intrigued me, and I've mentioned this in a couple of my quick videos. It looks like, apparently, Car Rep's School of Witchcraft and Wizardry or whatever has come out with a 2K paint that you don't have to catalyze. It's already 2K, it's already catalyzed, but this stuff is formulated such that the actual catalyst, the actual reaction doesn't happen until it mixes with the air. So what does this mean? Why is this a game changer? You've probably already figured it out. It means that this thing's got essentially an unlimited shelf life. I can spray something, get a 2K finish, then wait a couple months. My next project's ready to go, spray that, 2K finish, boom, same thing. And that's what they're telling me can happen with this. This can also apparently be sanded and polished within about 12 hours. So it passes the fingernail test after 12 hours. And you only need about 3 coats. So pretty similar. This stuff I would typically leave 24 hours. I'm sure you can do the same with this guy. It'll just be a little harder. A little harder to sand, a little harder to polish. The finish will have hardened up more, which is fine. And I'm guessing it continues to do so for a period of time, like the other stuff. That stuff continues to harden technically even after curing for a couple weeks. So I'm guessing this does the same thing. It's also, it's got the same other properties that you would expect. Is this annoying? It's annoying me. Same other properties that you would expect from a 2K. It's got some UV resistance. It's a high quality paint. It's got some scratch resistance. It's got some chip resistance. It gives you a hard gloss. That's what they tell me. So in today's video, we're going to test this out. Couple things before we do so. First of all, let's call it a moment of honesty here. I've already tested it. I've already, this can's like half empty. This one's full. I've already tested it. Really happy with it. Surprisingly happy. I was very skeptical about how this would perform because it just doesn't make sense to me, really, but it kind of does. I get it. It catalyzes when it hits the air. Sure, why not, right? Sprays really well, comes out great. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna do that. They also have some other products here, though. So, for example, they've got the 2-component high gloss white, 2-component high gloss jet black, and then we've got a 2-component semi-gloss black and a 2-component epoxy primer. Lots of good stuff to work with. Usually, I don't layer up 2K paints, but there's nothing wrong with doing so, and I love 2-component primers. They harden quickly. They don't have to go on stupid thick. And they're less likely to create reactions down the line because they cure because they're 2K. So what we're going to be painting is just a piece of wood paneling today. That's right, miraculously I'm slowly learning that I don't need to paint a guitar every time I want to demo something. So we're just going to paint a small panel today. We're not going to waste a whole bunch of paint or a whole bunch of time. We're going to use the epoxy primer, get it prepped. Now this is a fairly open grain wood. This is basically like a mahogany veneer. So it's going to show us what kind of filling power this has. That's going to be cool. Then we're probably going to go over it with, we want to really see how it performs here. So we're going to go over it with a black. There's no reason to use the semi-gloss. We'll go over it with the high gloss black also as part of this video. And then finally, we're going to clear coat it. That's what we're doing. 3 parts, all 2K, pretty damn quick, I think. We're going to move to voiceover. Let's get this sprayed and see how this stuff performs. So here's what we're dealing with, guys. Car Rep Automotive Products. I've got a link to their website in the description, or you can find it in the painting supplies in my Amazon link in the description if you want to get it through there and help me out if you're interested in this stuff. You can see I've chosen a very porous wood. So I did make this difficult on myself, but hey, nothing wrong with that. Let's take a look at some of these stats. They're right on the back of the can. You've got a fan cap that can be twisted both ways, dry to the touch in 60 minutes, scratch resistant and thus sandable within 12 hours. 3 layers, and there's the interesting thing, 3 minutes apart. That was the epoxy primer. Same for the black here, 3 minutes apart. That's pretty wild. You got to shake it for about 3 minutes, or at least that's what they recommend, but 3-minute flash time is fast. And then here we go, 10 to 15 minute flash time, which is very typical for the clear coat. So not so bad. You can get these done pretty quick, and 12 hours later you can sand and polish. Let's take a look at this epoxy primer. As you can see, the fan cap's pretty good. My camera's having a bit of a conniption here trying to decide what to focus on, but I wait 3 minutes and I go again. Again, fan cap working real nice. This thing puts out some paint pretty quickly. And by the way, all these spraying shots are in real time, so none of this is sped up. I know some of you are going to be concerned about this, so I did check the price, at least on a can of the clear, and it goes for the same price as the Spray Max. So nothing out of the ordinary, and like I said, it can last a lot longer if you're doing these smaller projects. You don't need to build a bunch up. I go in with some 400 grit here and knock this down. This isn't a sanding video really, so I'll just kind of speed through the rest of this, but 400 grit, typically when you go right to the edge of something you run the risk of sanding through, which I did here, but that's fine. It gives us a chance to see if the next color, the black, will cover that up. We'll see how much covering power it has. So here I am with the gloss black. Again, real time, you can see how it sprays. It's going on nice. I wait 3 minutes and come in with my next coat. Of course, I'm not doing real time on the 3-minute gaps because you guys would kill me, but it's an easy can to spray. It sprays nice. You turn it upside down after to clear it out. It covers pretty well. You really can't see those exposed wood areas where I sanded through right now, although you will once I knock it back again. But here is the gloss you get straight out of that colored can. My camera is not having fun with that. Anyway, I knocked that back. I don't go too close to the edges this time because I don't want to leave a whole bunch of wood marks, but hey, I leave some, as you can see, and I leave a little bit of orange peel still in there, a little bit of grain, because I want to see how this clear fills too, see how thick it goes on, right? So that's what I'm spraying now, the clear coat. This time I'm waiting 15 minutes between coats. I'm just going to show you 2 of them. This is enough of me spraying, but it does actually fill in that pattern quite well. This stuff goes on pretty thick. So I'm impressed with how it performed there. And this is the gloss that I got straight out of the can wet. Let me be clear, wet. This is not a dried piece. I just moved this out of the booth, and that's what it looks like when I took it out. But that's pretty nice. That's a nice hard gloss. Nice wet gloss on there. A little bit of dust in it. The booth is kind of a mess, but hey, looks pretty good. And this is what it looks like dried. You can still see a touch of that grain pattern around the edge, but that's, yeah, dried, not cleaned properly, but dried right out of the can there. So now we'll test out the polishing process. This isn't a polishing tutorial, but this part is just regular speed. That's 800 grit. That's how fast it gets knocked down. So it's maybe a touch softer than some clear coats, some of the professional ones, but definitely good enough for something like a guitar. Gets knocked back pretty quick. I've sped this up to 300 times speed now, and I'm using a little bit of naphtha to lubricate it a little bit, but it's not necessary if you use decent sandpaper. I mean, I sand at 1500 grit and then real quickly at 4000. Again, this is not a polishing tutorial, but what I will say is this stuff was, yeah, pretty easy to sand. I didn't do this after 12 hours. I waited, I think, probably closer to a week when all said and done, because I was pretty busy. So came back a week later to do this, had no trouble sanding it. It didn't harden up too much, but that also means, hey, it didn't harden up too much. So if you're looking for something that's going to withstand a direct hit from a tank, this isn't going to be it. Pretty easy to do there. Looks good. We'll do a durability test, but not in this video. We'll do a durability test at some point here. I then went in and compounded it. I got pretty lazy and did it with my my orbital sander, but it worked out pretty well. So compounded it with my orbital sander. I'll show you what that looks like after this. Somebody's gonna ask me why I didn't try and do a better job of this, but it's a small wood panel, so it didn't go too crazy. I left probably a bunch of scratches when I went in and removed the polish with my my shop towel here, but you get the idea. It was easy to flatten out, pretty easy to polish. That's around with the compound, and that's just some Northern liquid ice. And then I come in with my polish after, which is from 3M, and you'll see how that turns out too. Really happy with this stuff, as I said. So check out Car Rep, the website in the description if you're interested, and the Amazon link has it as well. Like I said, if you want to help me out, I'm going to try and figure out if I can get like a discount through these guys or something. Here's my little finished product. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.